I'm Luke Smolick with Benall Renovations. Today I'm going to show you another common mistake made when running tile in the kitchen or bathrooms. It occurs in what I like to call open edges of tile. And what do I mean by an open edge of tile? If you'll zoom in here on this edge right here, we ran three temporary tile here so that you'll see the mistake that's made. We have a rustic looking tumbled marble that we're using along this wall. Now what happens when you cut the tile is you have a very sharp edge. And if you put the sharp edge on the outside, it just doesn't flow with the style of the rustic look. Now some tile contractors will leave that tile and they'll say it's okay. Not in my house and hopefully not in yours. Don't let the tile contractor do that. They may try to hide it by turning the tile and the cut edge this other way to where it's almost hidden against the other rustic piece of tile. But you can still see the sharp edge. That's not the way that you want to leave your open edge of tile. I'm going to show you a trick that I use to help solve this problem, and it requires using a wet saw to create a little bit of a rustic edge along the side of it. Okay, now let me show you how I create my rustic edges using a wet saw. Now the wet saw is called wet saw for a certain reason, so I sort of like to cover myself up with a towel. In this case, today it's going to be Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2, and we're going to cut this edge for you. After you cut your tile to length and you have your sharp edge, it's just a matter of roughing up this outer edge a little bit so that it matches the rest of the edges. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be grouted out to a certain distance from the wall. So you're just worried about the very outer edge of the tile. The way that I like to do it is by running it along the blade at different angles to create that rough edge. Now, I don't really like going towards the blade because that makes it look like little cut edges in there. I like working my way back from the back of the wet saw and let the blade actually rub some of the score marks that you want in your tile. I will go in and put it at different angles, rotate the tile a little bit back and forth, up and down, and then I'll actually do it from both sides. It really doesn't do anything different from both sides, but it's just a matter of a different feel from a left hand to a right hand, because the whole key is that you're trying to create some real irregularities in the edge. You don't want anything perfect. So I'll show you how I do that. Go on this side. Can you go on this side of the video? Now that's it. Now you've created a rustic edge. Again, you'll be grouted out to a certain distance, and you have an edge now that looks nice and will match the other edges of tile when you grout it to the wall. Okay, now let's take a look and see what that rustic edge looks like on a finished backsplash. As you can see, I cut the rustic edge, but I don't put the rustic edge to the outside, I put it to the inside. Once it's grouted, it'll look beautiful. You can see the edge. Again, it's much better than having a smooth edge, edge that's razor sharp. You want to create this irregular, rough edge. Remember, it's in those fine details that make the finished job look perfect. And creating that little rough edge on the outer edge of those tile helps it to match the other tiles. And that's the details that we're looking for. I'm Luke Smolick with Benall Renovations, and I hope this helps you to create the professional job that you're looking for in your project.